and Phillips here, Music Minds and Well-Being. Today we have a special guest. She is a blessing to us. Her name is Jazz Willis, and she hails from Miami, Florida, but currently resides in Columbia, South Carolina. And she is an individual who helps people to transform their situations where they are right now. She's a speaker, she's a coach, she's a motivational speaker. And I'm just really glad to have Jazz with us. She's had so much go on in her life, right? That like the pair of us have done prison ministry, and she's worked in prisons and even gone up to the rank of a sergeant. So really and truly, she knows what's going on in some people's minds, because hostage negotiation team, awesome, Jazz. So Jazz, welcome to MMW. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me. It's greatly appreciated. How y'all doing out there? How you doing? Thank you so much, and for having me. It's greatly appreciated. So that, like, oh my gosh, that is me.
Yeah, but you know what? How would you really describe yourself to the world? I mean, I know I've given you that kind of introduction. Tell us just a little bit more about Jazz.
I would describe myself as humble beginnings. When people think Miami, they think the beaches, they think the sun, they think the fun. That's not where life was for me. So when it comes to that aspect, I'm taking the things that I saw around me, the things that I grew up around, learning from them, understanding that I can actually meet people in those very places, help them make a shift in their mindset, help them make a shift in certain things that they do, and use some motivation to be able to do that, and help them see that potential and make that potential reality. Because potential can be, it can be scary. Potential is just that. If you don't act on it, it's just that. So yeah, I'm taking what I've learned through my years of growing up, through my years of working in prisons, and just taking that, shifting that to now really help people and help mold their minds and help them see a difference in themselves. Sometimes people don't always see that goodness in themselves. So that is definitely where I'm at right now.
That is awesome. I just want to take us back to like when you were in the hostage negotiation team and the mindset of people, you know, when they've taken someone hostage, you know, that can be, a really tumultuous time, because they've got their agenda, but you've got to be able to talk them out of that. So how were you able to do that in that situation? Because I mean, it can be so tense, you know, talk to us about a situation and a time as much as you can.
Well, those are, you got to touch on those very, very lightly, very lightly. But I will say this, as a whole, people go through crisis, and it can be very, very quick shift. And crisis basically just means that your emotional thought process is over your rational thought process. That's the basis of a crisis, right? So sometimes it could be a date that's coming up. Sometimes it could be a moment that has passed before and it's coming up again because you keep reliving it. These are certain things that are triggers. Yeah. As we all know, it all boils back down to mental health. Yes. What are the triggers? And then we also have to be aware of self, right? So we have to know the individuals that we're dealing with. We can't approach everybody the same way. Not everybody wants the same thing.
Not at all.
You've seen it in movies. Yeah. It doesn't, please don't get that part twisted. It does not go like that. It does not go like that. But I will say, you have to get your rational thinking back over your emotional thinking in order for it to no longer be a crisis. Absolutely. That's what happens in a crisis. Your emotions take over your rational thinking, and that's it.
And that's the whole thing, you know, in the area of the amygdala that is really responsible for our emotions,
Right.
it can take over the whole of the nervous system and really just flood us with those emotions so that they become completely real. Because remember, the mind does not know what is real from unreal. So we have to bring ourselves back into that real situation and the moment that we're in, the current moment that we're in. So how did you get to the stage where you're at now and you're motivating people and coaching others?
Oh, I've always been that person. I've always been that individual. Since I was young, I can't remember being that individual. I played basketball growing up. I was always a point guard, always the shortest, completely fine with that. But it was something about being around people, bringing them together, and then us working towards a common goal. And then not only that, us taking steps towards that common goal, right? So we're all going to practice together. We're all playing pickup ball together. We're all playing we're a group of girls and a group of young ladies as we're growing up. We're playing against boys on purpose. Once again, we're being on purpose about things, not really knowing what we're doing, but we're being on purpose about getting better, right? So it's the little steps that we took. And it's that small shift when I was younger. And I realized I got to also take those steps alone. And once I started making those steps, taking those small steps in life, owning a home, being able to own a vehicle, looking to own a business, being more knowledgeable about finances, like it's small steps. It's not the big ones. It's the small ones that get to that big goal. So yeah, that's big for me.
That is, because we're always hearing about the consistency, the diligence, and as you're describing right now, those small steps. So they've made you get to where you are right now. So in your desire to help others, you do it with a purpose, on purpose, for a particular purpose. Who is the ideal person that you are really helping?
I really am looking to help men and women between 20 and 35. And the reason I say that is because it's such a critical time. A lot of time, our 30-year-olds get missed, right? We go straight from adolescence to teenage, right? Early 20s, and then everything in between until you're like 40. And then after that is missed, right? And the part, that little chunk in between, and that's who we shaping the world. We're the ones shaping the world, right? You're taking our information and you're saying, okay, so you're not young enough to be a teen, but you're not old enough to be way up there to where it's no longer, where you're not changing your mindset enough, right? We're the ones that are being missed. I need to talk to us. We're right here.
Yeah, because
it's right amazing.
It's amazing because obviously you're that generation, I'm a generation above you, and really a lot of my clients are in that age range because it is so easy for them to slip through the cracks, only because I really push them through to be able to go through that journey of letting go their past pain so that they can get to where they need to be now. Right. So once they've got to that where they need to be now, you're then taking them on that next journey of purpose.
Let's go.
And pushing them to where they need to be. So how are you doing that?
Oh, first through faith. We got to take that walk. We got to take that walk. Because if we ain't seeking him first, if we're not being on purpose with him first, then there's no other way that we can really go. And then we're going to use conversation to be able to do that. So we're going to find out what it is that you like to do, what it is that you can do and not get paid for and do all day, right? And then it's going to be some pain points in there because it might be some things that we have to discuss, that we have to bring up in order for you to get over that hump. And then we just going to take some small steps every single day, quarterly, to get the job done.
Absolutely.
That's it.
And that's that whole thing, that progress from you've gone from say quarter one. I mean, the quarter that we're in Now is like quarter three, but you've gone and taken those steps. And by the end of that quarter, you're like, I've done that thing.
Right.
And that's a really great feeling.
Yep.
So when you've done all of that, do you ever like do a group setting and be able to take them into, their next level?
Now, to be honest, I haven't done it with extreme execution coaching. However, I have done it with basketball coaching. And once again, we're doing the same thing. We're taking small steps to get to the bigger goal. My small steps was us learning the game of basketball, but realizing that basketball wasn't about basketball. It was never about basketball. Basketball was about having a family. Basketball was about having somebody that you could count on every time you came to practice. Basketball was about having a family outside of your family. Basketball was about building relationships. Basketball was about leadership and support. Yeah. Basketball was so much bigger than just basketball. Wow. And I treated it as such. When I went into an environment, I'm dealing with 6-year-olds and I coached all the way up to college age. I've been able to let them know, listen, even at this young age, basketball is always bigger. It's always bigger.
So are you going to be able to use the dynamic and all of the lessons that you've learned regarding basketball and all of your experience to actually be able to help others? Because, it's like that whole, forgive me if I'm in the wrong game, because obviously I'm here in the UK, but they have a playbook or something like that. Okay. Right. So your playbook is, the grounds of like, you're going to move in that formation and that. So is that something that you'll be doing regarding how you help people?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely. Big time, because it's about the foundation. If I can't give you something to build on, then I can't give you a purpose to start with. Ooh. Right? I can't give you proper steps to get into any direction or any location, or to think in any type of different manner if I haven't actually educated you on who you are.
And that is the main thing, who you are. Who you are, whose you are. I say it all the time. Once you really know who you are, you can move on from there. So I take the broken pieces, help them get over that, get to that. And then I say, there's a lady called Jazz who now wants to go to the next level. Then they go to another level and another level. And that's what it does. We all just keep on climbing. So, Jazz, what one thing would you like to say to the world that really and truly that they need to do so that they don't, as you said, the 25 to 35-year-olds, they don't feel they've been left behind? What would you like to say to those people?
Ooh. Lean in for this one, okay?
Please, let's lean in.
You don't rise to the occasion. You revert back to your training. That's Inky Johnson, right? What he means by that is you have to train yourself so much, right? That when the time comes, you actually rise up to be who you're supposed to be. But if you ain't training yourself to do that, and you actually expecting yourself to rise up, you don't have anything to rise up to.
That's it.
You haven't trained yourself in order to be able to do that. And it's not about an overnight success. It's about doing the work when people are sleeping overnight in order to get success. Listen, I could go on all day, but for some reason, they thought we was missing, but they don't understand. We're the reason that the world is being molded the way that it is right now. We're the reason for that. We're the reason. We took what our grandparents and our parents taught us and our great-great-grandparents, if we were blessed to have them in our lives, we taking that and saying, listen, you're not going to stop me right now. I'm going to take the pain that they had. I'm going to pull it all together. I'm going to put it in here and I'm going to rise all the way up because I got a different set of people around me.
And that right there is truly lean in and boom, because you've just said it. Who we have around us as we're doing that, going back to the foundation so that when we rise, it is important. I can't express it enough. The people that you have around you are either going to build you or they're going to tear you down.
That is so important. Gosh, that is so important. But I want to tell you one more thing. You better plug up your ears and start listening to yourself. Because it's so many people out here listening to other individuals and they don't even have dreams. They just looking to tear yours down.
Exactly.
You better stop talking to them.
Oh, yeah.
You better stop talking to them. You better start putting some stuff in action.
That's right. That is so right. Jazz, this is just part one. And I believe of our conversations, because we could go on for some time, girl. We really
enough.
I'm telling you, it has been a pleasure having you on MMW, and we're going to cross over again. So, Jazz Willis, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for having me, Miss Ed. It was definitely a pleasure. Thank you so much. I greatly appreciate it. I look forward to coming back. And I look forward to us working together. Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. Thank you, Jan.